letting go of control is something that I don't think I've quite yet mastered. The me that always had to fight to have a voice, fight to have this and that, fight for my space in something, and thanking that version of me, because I feel like I'm very, strong, I'm perceptive, I know how to use my voice, I know how to advocate for myself, but I'm also letting that go so that I can let in softness and help. You can ask and your people will show up for you, and you don't have to carry the burden alone. Welcome to yet another episode of OMG, another podcast. How are you doing? I'm doing great. I don't know how you feel because this is the last official episode of the year. Holy! I've been consistent for the past 6 months, so that makes me very happy. If you don't know, we went live on the 12th of June this year, and I've kept this alive for 6 months. So, a big shout out to myself, a big shout out to the team behind me, the Highway Studios team, Jerry, everyone who just makes this possible. Thank you so much. And that's why for today's episode, OMG What I'm Learning, End Year Reflections. So I'm going to be answering a few questions that basically reflect on the year that was as we go into the festive season. Oh, did you see my reindeer ears? Are they reindeer ears? Yeah. So I think this is cute. So very timely. That's why I have my reindeer's bunny ears on. So I'm going to be answering a couple of questions in terms of like reflections, looking back into the year, what stood out, what did not, and looking into the future of 2026. This has been the most plot twist, of all plot twists. I will reveal one day what that is, the biggest one, but I feel like this has been one of the toughest years for me ever as an adult, but it's birthed, literally, some amazing things like this podcast. So yeah, let's get into it. So what I've done is I've categorized these questions into gratitude and growth, what I'm letting go, relationships and love. I know I don't talk much about that, but I may touch on it, maybe 2 things. Purpose and creativity, and what I'm looking forward to in the new year. Okay. So the first question is, what's something I'm deeply proud of myself for this year? Definitely doing this, starting the podcast. It's one of my most epiphany, proud moments that I've had ever. It's something that I've wanted to do for so long. I had so many fears that now looking back, I'm wondering what they were. They don't even make sense anymore, and they're so much in the background. And also just being consistent and grinding and continuing to show up. So starting this platform and being present. So I would say that that is one thing that I'm really deeply proud of myself for. Removing that imposter syndrome, removing the fear of being perceived, being pushed by Njeri to do all these things, especially for social, and challenging myself as a person and just getting out of my creative shell to do different things. That has been very cool. I'm also proud of the fact that I've made amazing connections, especially in the creative space in this journey. The Highway Studios team, every single one of them are amazing. I am proud of putting myself out there to be perceived, to be critiqued, to be given feedback, and to do what I love doing and to be passionate about it and to see where, this can go to and how this can grow into something even bigger. So yeah, that's the first one. The second one is, what part of me grew the most emotionally, spiritually, or creatively? I would say all, especially because I think I mentioned this has been one of the most rough years for me in terms of my career, in terms of personal life. There's just so many things that just didn't happen correctly. And I was one of those people, this is my year. I started out this year with so much oomph and pizzazz. So I would say it's stretched me emotionally. It stretched me spiritually in terms of being able to, lean on God more, and also creatively, because now I have to think about this constantly and what this means, this platform, for example. And I'm so grateful for it, for the community, for building this, but it does take a lot of work and planning and thinking and structure, and yeah. So I would say all facets of me have been stretched, even mentally, psychologically, everything stretched to the limit. But I am grateful because I feel like I've grown in so many ways. Number 3, what surprised me about myself this year? How much I can pivot from the unexpected. uh, at some point I will sit down and say especially what the biggest plot twist of my life has been, but I think it's just been being able to pivot. The fact that so many curveballs have been thrown at me this year, and being able to one, talk about them and reflect. Two, not crash out. If you know me, I'm a crash out, and I did not completely crash out, but I crashed out a bit, but not so much. So just being able to pivot and not being rigid in this was a plan, then crying about it. I will cry. I'll go home to my mother and cry some more there, sleep on the grass, and then pivot. So I don't know if it's really surprised me actually because I pivot, but it's just how much tenacity we have as human beings, and how I still have it. And sometimes you look back as to, oh, I don't know how I made it past that. So this is it. Yeah, actually, that surprised me about myself this year, the pivoting, the constant pivoting. You think you've learnt a lesson, or you think you've conquered something, and then something else is thrown at you, and you're like, okay, now what? Pivoting. What lesson keeps showing up for me, and have I learned it yet? I think for me, the biggest lesson for me is one, because I'm a control freak, learning to trust, especially when variables are not under my control. That's hard. And I feel like that's a lesson that keeps showing up for me. I don't know if I have learned it yet, because I've unpacked this in different ways in different episodes, talking about anxiety, talking about being a high achiever, struggling with anxiety, talking about being a perfectionist, talking about all the reasons that I give myself as to, for example, why I didn't even start this platform. I didn't do this, I didn't do that. So I think it's a lesson I'm still learning, especially learning to trust, letting go. I'm actually so jealous of those people who can be like, oh, the universe will provide and knows the answers, or I trust God. I feel like I say that, but like I kind of don't. I want to see the plan, at least some bits of the plan, so I can feel safe. And letting go of control is something that I don't think I've quite yet mastered. And especially when things are out of my grasp, I always try as much as possible to make sure that everything is under my control. So that's not a lesson that I have fully 100% learned, and I'm still learning. Yeah. Next question. What did I do this year that I once thought I couldn't? I don't know. I didn't think I could get over my fear of being perceived or being critiqued or being given feedback, especially if you have a platform. And I did. And now it's not something that I think about. I just show up as authentically myself, and I try my best as much as possible. So I didn't think that this is something that I would get over, or I actually thought that it's something that I would constantly think about all the time. And the fact that I'm not, I'm just like, okay, that's different. I just caught myself one random day, and I wondered, when did that happen? It stopped being cringe when someone came up to me and told me, oh, I like your podcast, or oh, I listened to this, or someone sends me a DM. So that stopped being weird. Or connecting with people online, people I don't even know, for example, who are giving me feedback, telling me something, just interacting with me. So I didn't think I was able or capable of doing that. I thought it would be much scarier. I thought I'd always constantly hide. But I'm so free. And I didn't think that I would have this feeling of freedom, especially when it came to being perceived. So that's one thing that I thought that I couldn't do. And I also didn't think I would be here. I didn't think I would be looking and saying six months back, I started this platform, and here we are. And being consistent week in, week end, whether I feel like it, whether I don't. But also knowing that I didn't do it alone. I had a great support system. I have a great team behind me. I feel like I only do the easy part, which is come here, plan the episodes and then go. And then there's a lot that goes into this, and I really respect every single person who puts in their heart and soul into this. So I would say that's one thing that I once thought I couldn't do. And that is the category under gratitude and growth. So now we go into the second category, which is letting go. I feel like this one is going to be so deep. I'm not even sure that I have answers to these ones because I didn't like really check the questions. I wanted it to be as authentic and raw as possible without it being rehearsed. So yeah, let's go into the letting go category. What am I releasing as this year ends? The illusion of control, the illusion that you can predict what will happen 5 months from now, 2 months from now, all of that. And there's this word that is used a lot, serendipity. And I like using that word. Oh, the magic of letting life unfold and life happen. And I thought I'm like so into that. But I'm also like, I was like, oh, if life is unfolding, can you tell me what time it unfolds so I can plan or I can be prepared? Can you tell me what day the unfolding will begin so that I can also be unfolding at the same time? So just letting go of releasing the illusion of control. I think I'm gonna be letting go of that, and it's a lesson that I'm still learning. Which old version of me am I finally ready to thank and let go of? Which one am I going to thank and let go of? Yeah, I would say the me that always had to fight to have a voice, fight to have this and that, fight for my space in something, and thanking that version of me because I feel like I'm very, strong and perceptive. I know how to use my voice. I know how to advocate for myself, but I'm also letting that go so that I can let in softness and help and assistance and say like, yeah, that's beyond me. I don't know how to do one, two, three. So I think that is what I would say. Like that's the version of me I'm ready to let go and thank. I'm like, yeah, you were tough, you were a tough cookie, and that's great. But also just like that's not all there is to me. There's a soft side, there's a happy side, and embracing them all. And I think that's beautiful. So I think I'm ready to let go of that one as just being the tough cookie and being proud that I have a community of friends, of family, of colleagues, of people who just we work together and it's beautiful. So I think that's the version I'm ready to let go of, and it was something that I held on so closely as an identity. But I'm also multifaceted. I'm also nurturing. I'm also caring, and it's okay for also those sides to shine instead of being, hiding behind a wall. Number 8, what no longer feels like mine to carry? What feels like it's no longer mine to carry? Fear, shame, fear, shame. I think in some ways they are like the same, they're different sides of the same coin. I mean, fear of going after my dreams. I think genuinely I'm always going to go back to this platform and saying starting this platform has made me let go of a lot of things that I was not ready. Like I said, the beauty about the Huawei Studios team is that they embraced me and I didn't have a plan. And it's like, yeah, let's start. Here, record. You can do this. And just jumping into the deep end and figuring it out as I go has been beautiful to watch as it unfolds. And so it has helped me let go of my fear and shame even about my weaknesses. I'm aware of what those are and it's okay. I've accepted myself. So it's no longer mine to carry. All my weaknesses, they are me. I embrace them fully. The the fear of what will be, I'm able to trust myself more, my instinct and all of that. So yeah, I think those are what I feel like it's no longer mine to carry. What mistake or moment taught me the most this year? Ooh. I'm trying to think if there's like a specific mistake that really jumps out to me or moment that taught me the most. I mean, I feel like, again, going back to this podcast and also my career has really stretched me this year. There are ways in which I had to morph into myself that I never thought was possible or was being stretched. And sometimes I wanted to hide, sometimes I wanted to be in the corner and be in my bed, and that's it. And I feel like those moments taught me the most this year about tenacity, about resilience, about consistency, about showing up, about discipline, whether you feel like it or not. And I want to continue with those traits that And the more I've realized, the more you show up for yourself, the more you trust yourself. So, yeah, I want to trust myself more. I want to continue believing in my abilities and want to continue stretching myself. But I hope next year is going to be kinder because this year it put me through the ringer. So, I don't think there's necessarily a mistake that taught me the most, but I do know that my career this year and this platform, the podcast, really stretched me and taught me the most this year about collaboration, about resilience, about discipline, all those things that I've mentioned, and just showing up authentically. Last question under the letting go category is, where did I practice forgiveness or need to? Remember, there's an episode I have done, please go back and watch it, about I'm not too sure I know how to forgive. So, this one, I am still learning how to let go of that burden and letting go of that perception that you have wronged me so much. So, that one, I am still on the fence about that. So that I'm still learning. So it's a work in progress, especially because if it's like a very close relationship to me or a person, I always feel like, oh my gosh, how could you do that to me? Like, it keeps on ringing in my head. So this is something that I need to continue learning. But I admitted it here. It's a lesson that I need to learn. Relationships and love. I really don't talk about this much. I don't know why. It's maybe a part of me that has not accepted vulnerability in the most like 100% way. EJ is even smiling because she's like, girl, yeah, we don't really hear you talking about this much. But the first question under this relationships and love category is, who showed up for me in the most unexpected ways this year? So, how to answer this question is, the beauty about it is I feel like I have a solid support system and a community around me of especially my girls. I feel like those relationships have held me down through everything, whether it's like through my career, I was going through a rough time, whether it's my health, whether it's this or that, whether it's my normal day to day challenges as a young woman. I don't know if it's unexpected, but it's so grown. The relationships that I have fostered with my girlfriends is so solid, it's so supportive. It's like literally girl power. It's literally supporting and loving each other. It's covering each other. It's showing up. It's not performative. So I don't think it's unexpected, but I just feel like there has been like a deepened sense of love and showing up and how we show up for each other and how we read for each other. Like, there's loyalty, there's no weirdness, and it's just getting closer and closer to each other. So yeah, I think I would say that. The second question, I, is, what relationships deepened and which ones changed shape? The relationships that deepened, probably with my folks, with my parents. I feel like our relationship has deepened the more I grow up, and now I'm like a full adult, and now we are relating as, friends, as people who can sit down and have, conversations and share the same mind. And it's been beautiful to see, like, and just looking back at our relationship as like, when you're a child, just more of like, I'm a parent, you listen to what I say, and then teenagehood is like rebellion, especially if you knew me, I was such a rebellious teenager. Young adult is also like a balance of trying to give me freedom and them trying to understand who I am and who I've become and who I'm becoming. But now I feel like there's a good equilibrium of respect, love, and care between my parents and I, and I feel like those are relationships that I've deepened with them. Also with my siblings, we have always been very close. We are sisters, we're friends, but they're still literally my best friends. And I feel like this continues to deepen as we just support through each other through life and changes. Okay, the third question under this category is, how did I show up for love, for friendship, or community differently with so much intention? At the beginning of this year, I said I'm going to show up intentionally for my relationships, whether it's my love life, whether it's my friendships, whether it's my community, whether it's my family, and be inconvenienced. There's a quote that says, the cost of love or the cost of relationships is inconvenience. That Saturday night when you just want to sleep and it's raining and your friend has called you for a birthday party, that's inconvenience. You haven't seen your friend in forever and you want to cancel because you've had like the longest day of your life, but you had decided that you had agreed you're going to meet up for coffee. That's inconvenience. Your friend is having a baby and you decide to go and help babysit, and even if you're tired yourself, and that's but you're still showing up for them, that's inconvenience. So for me, I think I have strengthened that muscle of being inconvenienced for my community, being inconvenienced for my friends and family, being inconvenienced for my loved ones, being inconvenienced for the people I love. And I feel like that muscle has grown this year. It was one of my goals for this year to be more intentional about it. And I feel like I have, and I'm glad to do that. Um, and then the last question in this category for relationships and love is, what did I learn about receiving, not just giving? Asking. I'm so bad at asking for help, or, admitting that I'm stuck somewhere. I feel like, that Miss Independent thing that I said I'm putting away. And knowing that your community is ready to hold you and support you, your community is there to love you, but you also need to ask. So I think that's what I've realized about receiving. Receiving is knowing that you're loved enough that your people will show up for you. And receiving is knowing that you can ask and your people will show up for you and you don't have to carry the burden alone. So one of my biggest learnings is that. Okay, purpose and creativity is the next category. And the first question is, what inspired me the most creatively this year? Wow, women. I feel like every corner you turn, everywhere you check on social, there's a woman doing something great. A woman who is doing changes in the climate, in the aviation space, in the fashion and creative space. Even, for example, her Way Studios is owned by a woman. So women have really challenged and inspired me creatively this year. Some of the work they're putting out, some of the projects that they're putting out, some of the ways they are also expressing themselves so boldly through their fashion, through what they say, through their platforms. Like other people have podcasts, channels, like just everywhere. Like, in politics, women have been very vocal as well. I mean, it's been beautiful to see. For me, just women, being surrounded by women, knowing that they're just a normal person just like you and I, but then they're showing up. Women, you have blown my mind this year. Mwah. Thank you so much. And also, predominantly, I think I would say 95% of also the team at Haraway Studios is women, so just so inspiring. But we also have our resident part of the girl group, Limo. So a big shout out to you, Limo. What did I create or contribute that I'm proud of? I sound like a broken record by now. Of course, the podcast, I'm very proud of that, but also especially showing more of my authentic self and my personality on social media, and not necessarily curating it in a cute way. Shout out to Jerry for taking me out of my shell for that. And we still have a long ways to go, but she can say I try. um, the third question is, how did I honor my passions outside of productivity? This is so cool because it's something that we discussed in an episode about passion versus hobby. When do you monetize? When do you not? One of the goals that I put for myself at the beginning of the year is I want to read more. I want to try new things. So I put myself out there, and this is when I also joined my book club that I am so obsessed with, the Bookish Collective. And just for the love of it, I'm part of a book club and I'm reading books just to read books. Someone made fun of us and said, aren't book clubs like reading a set book? If you're in the 844 system, reading a set book and coming to discuss will seem like a punishment, but I'm doing it now on purpose and I love it. So the fact that one of my passions is, for example, reading books and doing it with a group of amazing individuals is how I'm honoring my passions without necessarily making it like into a money making venture or something productive. But it is productive to me in many ways, in the ways it edifies my soul. And the last one in this category is, what dream did I get a little closer to? That is making sure that my brand is a globally recognized brand. And I'm manifesting that here and I'm declaring it here in front of camera. And it will continue being so as we continue growing. Ija is like, yes, girl, thank you for the affirmation. Thank you. And just really happy to do this and create. So the last two questions, this is question 19, but the first question under the looking forward category is, what energy or intention do I want to carry into the new year? What intention or energy do I want to carry? Gratitude. I want to carry energy of gratitude. It's so easy for us to complain. I think there's also an episode I did about gratitude and how we take so many things for granted. The fact that you have the honor to do what you love doing, even though you don't, and but it brings food on the table. And the energy I want to bring in is just being more positive and letting go of control, because that's stressful. So I want to be continue being intentional. I want to be just a positive person, but also want to live every day, every moment in gratitude for what I have and for what's to come. And lastly, what I'm looking forward to, which is question 20, and the last question under the looking forward category is, what does peace look like for me in the next season of my life? Being content with where I am, whether I'm happy about it, whether I'm not too happy about it, whether I feel some type of way or I should have been way ahead. Being content, that looks like peace to me. Knowing that I'm doing the best I can with what I know now and doing better and adding to it, but being content. Yeah, that looks like peace to me. And I feel like I'm getting there. Something that I've also been learning and easing into that and not stressing about what's next. Like being content, being present in the now, being present in where you are. There's a friend of mine who likes saying, like, where your feet are, be all there. Don't always let your mind go into the next, into the past, all those things. Be there, be present. So for me, I think it's just that, being content with where I am and what I'm feeling. So those are some of my end year reflections. I want to hear what your end year reflections are. What have you learned? What are you still learning? What do you want to learn in the new year? What energy are you going into 2026? Is this still going to be your year in 2026? What are your plans? Please tell me. I want to know all of them. And yeah, let's interact. Please make sure that you're following us on all our social media pages. That is at OMG Podcast. OMG Another Podcast. We are on TikTok. We are on Instagram. And then make sure that you catch full episodes on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and YouTube. Make sure you catch up on all the episodes that we've released this year. That would be great. Make sure you comment, subscribe, like, share this with all your friends, your family, everyone. But from me, logging off for the last episode of the year, I just want to say thank you so much for being here. Thank you for interacting with me. I wish you a happy holiday season where you take time off to be present, be all there where you are, be with your friends, be with your loved ones, be with your family, reflect, be grateful, and, prepare and look forward to the next year with whatever it brings. All I know is that we are resilient more than we think, and we can take up whatever challenges that we have. So thank you so much for being here. A big, big thank you to my production partners, Highway Studios. I would not do any of this without them. They've been the air beneath my wings. Jerry as well, every single person who works on this podcast behind the scenes, and just for the beautiful community that I also have here. Make sure you come also 2026. Don't sleep on your dream. If you want to create, there's enough space for all of us to do so. But thank you so much for being here. Happy 2025 and happy 2026. See you on the next one.